Hey guys, DJ.MAGIC here, and today I'm doing a solo run of the Minnycast. And today we've got quite a touchy subject for you guys. I'm going to be covering bullying, and I know that's a really sensitive topic for a lot of you out there, including myself, but also including Minnie Mancino. That's actually why she's not able to join us today. She figured she could not go into great detail or wasn't comfortable going into detail about this topic, so I ended up volunteering to do it this week, so hopefully you guys don't mind. But basically, I played the role of both the bully and the victim, and so I'm going to share with you guys my experiences and my thoughts regarding what it was like. So my experience with bully started when I was in grade 1. And I had just transferred to a different school, and there's nothing worse than being a kid transferring to a different school, especially that young, because at kindergarten I recall I already had a lot of friends, so it sucked leaving. But when I went to the different school, started grade 1, I was bullied by the other kids because of my eyes. And because of the fact that I couldn't see very well, so they would mock me, throw things at me, take my lunch, accuse me of doing something I never even did, etc. And this continued until I was about grade 4. And my parents would have to come to school, and they would even tell the teachers, like, he comes home crying, and my father would be yelling, my mom would be upset to the point where she'd be in tears. It wasn't a good time, and I guess I learned all the wrong things from that experience because, despite having a few friends that I could trust from grade 1 to 4, I was hurt a lot. Like, I was emotionally destroyed. And despite the few friends I had, I could honestly say, looking back, grade 1 to 4 sucked. I was lucky to have those friends, but without them I probably wouldn't have even went to school. They would have had to take me kicking and screaming, so I was very fortunate that I even had a few. But after grade 4, I moved schools again, so I moved back to the school that I was in at kindergarten. So it was really nice to see some of the old friends. But from there, I ended up playing the role of the bully. And this was due to the fact that I was, already rough around the edges because of the traumatic experience of being bullied from grade 1 to 4. And so I took that with me. I became very salty. I was just angry. I had an attitude problem. The damage was done, and it was very evident to my family and to those that were concerned for me, like my itinerant teachers, friends. So from grade 5, I would, grade 5 to about 8, I played the role of the bully. And I used to I wanted to be the first kid outside for recess just so I could stand by the door and make attempts at tripping everybody that would run back outside. That's how bad that was. I also recall a time where there was another... Oh, this is going to be tough for me to say, and God, forgive me for it, but there was one time where I knew there was another child that had a learning disability, and my premise was if I make other people that I felt were weaker than me, if I made them look bad, people wouldn't target me to bully me. So I wanted to get the bullying away from me. So I thought that was the best way to do it. As a kid, mind you, looking back, that was a terrible idea, obviously. And I regret it entirely. But yeah, there was one mentally handicapped individual. And I used to pick on him constantly. We used to prank call his house, me and my cousin. And we used to push him into things. We used to mock him constantly. It got so bad where they had to get the principal involved because this kid would come home crying like I did when I was in grade 1 to 4. So what I was going through, I made this kid go through, and I feel awful. And eventually, I don't know how I snapped out of that, and I'm glad that I did, because there were a lot of times where just some random kid would walk by and I would trip them. I did it to get attention as well. Like, I wanted the other kids to think that I wasn't weak, so they would be friends with me. That was what I was, that's what I was thinking then, and it was terrible. So when I finally left that school and I entered high school, I went to an all-blind kids school, and that was where I spent from grade 9 until maybe grade 11. So yeah, about 2 or 3 years, I can't remember, 2 or 3 years that I spent there. And I didn't experience much bullying there, because everybody was pretty much equal, and we all knew each other, because it was such a, it was a residential school, so it wasn't, everybody, it was a tight space, like everybody knew each other. After that, I ended up going to another school, a regular high school close to my area and that's where I played the role of somebody that would stand up against bullies, because I took what I learned from being the bully from, grade 5 and up, and being victimized from grade 1 to 4. I took that knowledge, and I was a decent teenager. I went through my things because my father's death at the age of 14. When I was 14, my father passed away, So that messed with me, and, given my history of bullying and being bullied, it was like a train wreck waiting to happen. But luckily, I ended up in the right direction. But as I went to this high school, I think I only had maybe 1 or 2 incidences of being bullied, or people attempting to bully me. And one of them was when I had a huge dude pick me up by a chain that I was wearing. So kind of like how you would pick up a dog by his collar. Like, he just picked me right off my feet with that chain. And I just stared at him, like, scared. Like, I'm not going to be able to do anything. So he put me down, felt bad. Well, we became friends. And his reason, I kid you not, was, well, you're the first person that didn't piss himself. So there's that, right? I made friends with the biggest guy in that high school. And then there was another time another individual, his alias was Elvis. So, doubt he's watching, but if you are, hey, what's up, dude? But yeah, Elvis and I became friends, and how that happened was he tried to bully me, and it was really, really funny, because his reason for wanting to bully me was the same reason that I had for bullying. So he wanted other people to stop bullying him, so he tried to pick on somebody who he thought was weaker. So he used to come up to me and call me blind man, and he used to greet me that way. He used to point me out in a crowd. He'd just be like, hey, blind man, come here, blind man. And so, I just laughed at him, and the group that I was with laughed at him. But other than those 2 situations, I never really got bullied. But I saw a lot of bullying happen. And because I hung out with the biggest dudes in school, I would encourage that they would stop it. So if I saw it, I would tell them. And, being a dude who's not that big in stature, I couldn't personally do anything about it. But because I knew some people that could, I was able to stop a lot of bullying from happening when I went to that school. So I'm very grateful that I learned my lesson, but I was also, I'm still looking back, and I'm really just humbled that I had to learn the way I did, because I shouldn't have had to bully other kids because I was bullied. You tell a kid that, he's not going to understand to the degree that I get it now, that we would understand as adults. But in the end of the day, that was my response to that panic of being bullied. I had to get stronger. I had to make people, think I wasn't weak. And the only way I thought to do that was to pick on somebody who I thought was weaker, which was horrible. So, to wrap it up, guys, seriously, if you see somebody getting bullied, do what you can to stand up for them. If you feel like you're going to put yourself in danger if you do so, get yourself out of the situation and find help for that individual, because you never know. You just never know. There's some horror stories out there that bullying results in, and I I do not, condone bullying in any way. That's why I'm here. I want to speak against it. I wanted to tell my experiences on it. And I felt like it would have been interesting to hear the side of somebody that's done the bullying, not just victimized by bullying. So you get both ends. There are reasons. Despite how annoying and horrible bullying is, there are reasons why people do it. And that's not to say they're justifiable, but there are reasons why people do it. And mine was to get the target off my back. So I'm glad I learned my lesson. Say no to bullying. God bless. But anyways, I'm gonna call it a day. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. And hopefully I didn't suck at this episode of the Minnycast. But yeah, guys, we'll see you next time with another topic. Until then, enjoy. Have a good day, guys.